What is up, you guys? It's your boy Kenny K coming at you with a comic review. Today we'll be looking at ISOM number 1, the first entry into the comic book space from Eric July, as well as the debut issue from the Rippaverse. So without further ado, let's get right into it.
Cause you know my flow's so sick and my style's so moist and Rip 101. So we was lit, Mr. Fam, especially Kim do what's best. Do what I can, saucing up, we're in a pan, turning up. Tokyo, Japan, anti-girls, and ninja bands. Hey, you know this flow's so sick.
So right off the bat, I was impressed. I think before we even look into the actual book itself, we gotta give some mad props to Eric. Very rarely do content creators who have such a strong opinion or critiques on various topics follow through on what they say they're gonna do. I think it's very easy to sit from the sidelines and, shout your critiques and whatnot. But to actually step into the space that you are critiquing about and putting yourself out there, that's some prop. And I gotta give it to you. As someone who's tried to make his own business multiple times, it's a very tough thing to do. It's pretty surprising, some of the critiques, if you'll even want to call it that Eric has gotten for attempting to even do this. I think a lot of them are just talking out of their booties, to keep it PG. This is inspiring. To see someone really take the challenge, against everyone, to really go against the grain, it's inspiring as a content creator, so thank you. And now on to the book. I think this was a really good first look at the Rippaverse. I thought the art was great, nothing slight of what a modern comic should be, and let alone 96 pages.
You see, this ain't your run-of-the-mill crapperware.
Most modern comics right now are anywhere from about 25 to 30 pages, and 8 to 12 of those are ads. Boring. It's like you're reading a YouTube video and you don't have ad blocker on. I think having extra or maybe excessive ads really can deter from your immersion. But that's aside from the fact, I get you got bills to pay, right? I thought the story was good and it flowed well. Simple, easy to keep track of, but just enough questions to keep you wanting a little bit more. I also thought each character was able to have their own defined voice. I think that helps just personally when I'm reading them in my head. And now we're gonna look at some critiques. There isn't anything necessarily groundbreaking or revolutionary in the comic. No Game of Thrones level of politics or 30-minute John Wick fight scene. But I feel like we can't really set the bar that high given we only have one issue to go off. I wish we got to know a little bit more about Yaira, as in the advertisements she was promoted quite a bit, so I thought she'd play a little bit of a bigger role in this #1 issue, as well as learn a little bit more about Alpha Core. I thought that was a pretty interesting team, and just from the little snippets that we got, some people might think that having the inclusion of these other characters in ISOM #1 would detract from ISOM's story. I thought it was good because it gives you something to look forward to. We're learning a little bit more about ISOM through various flashbacks, and you'll see the quote, a story for another time. And that kind of keeps you engaged, keeps you hooked in, as well as revealing, current stuff in the story. You'll also be learning past things, as well as other things in the Rippaverse. Another little critique that I did have was with just one of the fight scenes where ISOM was fighting one of the bodyguards, and I'll put it up on the screen, but there's just a scene where they're like jumping at each other, and then the next frame just has them like sliding opposites. It took me a couple rereads to kind of figure out that flow of action. Yeah, it was just kind of a little funky. But other than that, everything else was smooth. All the other scenes made sense. I think the inclusion of the other characters were handled appropriately. We were given just enough time on them to pique our interest, ask some questions in our head, but not too much time where we're not focusing on ISOM. And last but not least, I just want to touch on the ending just quickly, but I don't want to spoil it. I just wanted to say that I'm really excited. I think that, like I said, that's more questions to ask. And just, oof, where's it gonna go from here? All right, and to wrap it all up, I'm gonna give a rating out of 10, and for me, I'd give it an 8. I think this is a solid read if you are interested in comics or are interested in something different. Give me something different than Marvel and DC. They have a kind of a similar writing style, and they just kind of get repetitive. So I think if you want something different, a little bit of a change of pace, and you want to support someone who really cares about the fans, I'd highly recommend this. I want to give one more thanks to Eric for following through on this project. It has inspired me immensely on my own creations, not only on comic books, but on video games, on music, on art. I really think we're going to see a resurgence and what he's mentioned, honestly, a creative renaissance rise in the pop culture. Getting too deep into it because it's a video for another time, but I do think a lot of the larger companies are just copy paste, garbo. If you like it, you like it. That's up to you. But personally, I'm out of it, man. I need something different. I need something new, something exciting, something fresh. And I think with Eric's, what he's proving right now is that it is possible. It is possible. You do not have to do the mainstream thing. And with that, we're gonna close it out. Thank you guys so much. Please like and subscribe. Keep it on Twitch. We got a bunch of games going on, and we're gonna have a bunch of more content and projects coming out for you guys. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Cause you know my flow so sick and my style so moist and Rip 101. Zoe was lit.